Welcome to everyone, and thank you for being with us this evening for tonight's Berkeley County Board of Education meeting, Tuesday, April 8th, 2014. I call the meeting to order. I declare that a quorum is present and that the media has been notified. Hearing no objection, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda and a second. Do we have a motion and a second? So moved. Mr. Cooper?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. A motion has been made to approve the agenda by Mr. Cooper. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. The motion carries unanimously. The agenda for tonight's meeting has been approved. If everyone would please join us in tonight's opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next up on the agenda item number 4, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of March 25th, 2014. Do I have a motion and a second for the approval of the March 25th minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you, Ms. Moore. A motion has been made to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 25th. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. The minutes of the regular meeting of March 25th have been approved. Now we get to move on to agenda item number 5. And tonight we've got a very special recognition, and we look forward to hearing about that recognition from Mr. Franchini.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Thompson, members of the board. We will be recognizing our National Board Certified Teachers, also our Rookie Teachers of the Year. First, I would like to ask the members of the Cabinet if they would vacate their seats, please, and ask the board and Dr. Thompson if y'all would come and line up behind these chairs so that we can recognize our individuals. And Stephanie Wallace, our 2013 Teacher of the Year and new chair of Teacher Forum, will be calling the names for our National Board Certified Teachers and our Rookie Teachers of the Year.
Good evening, Chairman Murray, Dr. Thompson, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be here tonight to recognize more of our fantastic teachers. I had the privilege 2 weeks ago of recognizing all of our school level Teachers of the Year at the annual breakfast, and I'm excited to recognize some more of them this evening. First, we have our National Board Certified Teachers, and National Board is a voluntary advanced teaching credential that goes beyond state licensure. National Board certification has national standards for what accomplished teachers should know and be able to do. The National Board certifies teachers who successfully complete its rigorous certification process. This year, we are pleased to recognize 4 newly certified and 13 recertified National Board teachers. So our newly National Board certified teachers are Allison Brown from Stratford High, Patricia Hill from Berkeley Middle School, Brianna Krebs from Boulder Bluff Elementary School, and Elizabeth Nelms from Cane Bay Elementary School. Our recertified teachers are Kimberly Full from Whitesville Elementary, Jennifer Shuffler from Hanahan Elementary, Casey Holland from Hanahan Middle. Tammy Jackson from Berkeley Elementary. Forrest Lowe from St. Stephen Middle. Kelly Mahan from Sangaree Middle. Linda McNeil from Berkeley Elementary. And the following were recertified but unable to be with us this evening: John Weirman from Westview Elementary, Ann Schuler from Marrington Elementary, Judy Hartzog from Devon Forest Elementary, Benjamin Green from Goose Creek High School, Denise McDougall from Stratford High, and Michelle Smith from Cane Bay High. So congratulations to our National Board certified teachers. Okay, and next up, we're going to recognize our Rookie Teacher of the Year teachers. Exceptional teachers bring high expectations for every student, a belief in each child's potential, and a commitment to work each day to unlock that potential. These kind of outstanding educators are found throughout our district, including in the district's cadre of first-year teachers. Berkeley County's Rookie Teacher of the Year program is designed to recognize and reward teaching excellence among its newest instructional leaders. Each year, every Berkeley County school has the opportunity to select a Rookie Teacher of the Year winner. This year, we are pleased to recognize 28 Rookie Teachers of the Year, including our 3 finalists for the district-wide honor. So first up, from Berkeley Elementary, Sarah Risher. From Berkeley Intermediate, Daniel Berg. From Berkeley Middle, Dan Morgan. From Cane Bay High, Megan Farrell. From College Park Middle, Gina Maxey. From Cross High, Chiquita Spears. From Devon Forest Elementary, Christy Calvin. From Daniel Island School, Neil Paulson. From Goose Creek Primary, Rebecca Brown. From Bonner Elementary, Christina Parker. From Hanahan High, Chelsea Smith. From Marrington Elementary, Shelby Cup. From Sedgefield Middle, Sandra Larkin. From Sangaree Elementary, Kitty Tackett. From St. Stephen Elementary, Whitley Hurd. From St. Stephen Middle, Catherine Arquette. From Timberland High, Lisa Nicole Cox. From Whitesville Elementary, Hillary Henry. From Westview Middle, Sarah Carpenter. Okay, then the following were unable to be with us tonight. From Hanahan Middle, Angelica Smith. Also from Hanahan Middle, Megan Romberg. From Marrington Elementary, Rosemary Morris. Also from Marrington Elementary, Kristen Taylor. From Westview Primary, Joseph Douglas. And from Cainhoy Elementary Middle, Nicole Gregg, whose principal, Mr. Spagnolia, is here on her behalf. Okay. So our 3 finalists for District Rookie Teacher of the Year, which will be announced at Westview Middle School on May 19th at the district's Pride Celebration, is Debbie Manningding from College Park Elementary. Kelsey Krause from Sangaree Intermediate. And Jordan Addison from Westview Elementary. So congratulations to all of our Rookie Teachers of the Year.
I'm sure he did. He was on somebody's offensive line. Yeah. Reverend Simmons was there when I was. I know all the skills.
A few minutes. Good to see all those men.
Oh yeah, I knew Rev. Rev is a trip.
We got this.
That's not. How many times do you think Rev doesn't pop us?
All right, as you can see, most of our visitors this evening are leaving. If we have any additional visitors that would like to leave prior to the business portion of the meeting beginning, now would be the time. And once again, congratulations to all of our National Board Certified teachers, our rookie teachers, and I wish them all luck in their pursuit of their educational career. All right, moving on to agenda item number 6, citizens' comments. We do have one comment tonight, so let me read the rules. Citizen comment procedures. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, we ask that you honor the following guidelines. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comments at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding an employee or student other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. And finally, the board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or halt public comments that do not adhere to these guidelines. Our speaker for tonight is Patricia Eckstein of Hanahan, and she is going to speak on residents' involvement. Ms. Eckstein, if you would come, the podium is yours, and it's a pleasure to see you.
Pleasure to see you all too, and to be back again for the second time.
Thank you.
I did speak before the school board and with residents in support of the referendum in November 2012, and I'm representing the Reserve at Foster Creek Homeowners Association, and some of our homeowners are here tonight. And we thank you. We're sorry for whatever happened with our correspondence back and forth, but we thank you for your reply. And we just sort of wanted to reiterate the importance of citizen involvement in the future. We're both at a standpoint, I think we're honorable, well-intentioned people can differ, and we're at that point with the legal appeal of the school district, with the city of Hanahan and the zoning. So. But I think there's also been a lot of great communication over the period of time. So just want to address that. We hope as we move forward, you're hoping in a couple of weeks this issue will be settled. We're hoping so too. Residents all along Tanner, Foster Creek, and throughout Hanahan are too. But we just want to point again to what was done with Daniel Island, sort of the same time frame of when residents came to Hanahan City Council and came to the school board about the attendance lines. And you were in flux too. It was Charleston Water, and then it was the Bowen site. So a lot of things to handle, and as one of our homeowner parents has said, you've got a lot of things going on with the bond referendum. So we just want to repeat again that we hope that you will involve us in the same process. There's almost 2 months of meetings. I've read through the board minutes, the city of Hanahan minutes, and all the minutes and presentations that were done. And we hope that you will consider doing the same thing. I had seen Dr. Thompson in Bilo one day at the deli counter and explained to him that, you know, I once faced a similar situation with attendance lines in schools. And it's always easy to say, move that parent's child, but when you're sitting across the table from each other, you at least have the opportunity to hear each other, and whether it should be K-2, 3 to 5, or 2 neighborhood elementary schools, the pros and cons. Let the parents all see each other. They'll all understand each other. And that makes, sometimes you hear something you hadn't even thought about before. So, you know, take a look at that. Take a look at all the work that everybody did with Daniel Island and the petition. Take a look at the minutes from the 2 meetings in December. I would ask all the board members, if you haven't, take a look at that, because you'll see a lot of things there. And hopefully we can all come back together and work on this together and come to what Dr. Gather said, a school that everybody will embrace and wants to be in, because they all worked very hard to make recommendations and to make it happen. So thank you very much. Good luck to you all.
Thank you, Ms. Eckstein, and I'd like to personally thank you, because I know of the hard work that you've done for the city of Hanahan, but also for our children in November of 2012, and I certainly will never forget that, and I thank you for that. All right, that concludes our citizens' comments this evening. We'll move on to agenda item number 7. That agenda item is entitled Program Support, specifically a Head Start update. No, there's no more comment. I've just been reminded by the superintendent, if there's anyone else that would like to leave at this time after citizens' comments, you're certainly welcome to do so. We have a 2-page agenda this evening, and we're getting ready to get into it. So you will not hurt our feelings. We will not consider you rude. If you need to get home to your families, we understand. And we thank you for being with us this evening. All right, with that said, and given that opportunity, Dr. Whitley, agenda item number 7, program support. Tonight we have an item for information board entitled Head Start Update. And Dr. Whitley will inform you as well. The board had Head Start training tonight. So we've certainly got a lot of Head Start information going through our brains right now. Dr. Whitley.
Absolutely. Good evening, Chairman Murray, Superintendent Thompson, board members, and guests. Thank you so much for the opportunity to showcase our Berkeley Dorchester Head Start program tonight. A little over 45 minutes ago, the board finished the yearly Head Start training, and that training focused on federal guidelines, requirements, and the Head Start performance standards. We want to say thank you to each of you for your participation and your leadership in this critical program. The following presentation will focus on our children And the difference is that Berkeley Dorchester Head Start makes daily, and not only in the lives of our children, but also in our families. Before Ms. Jones, our director, begins, I'd like to introduce the members of our Head Start management staff that are with us tonight. If you'll stand, please. Mrs. Cynthia Coaxum, our compliance specialist. Mrs. Betty Presley, our family community partnership coordinator. Ms. Letitia Wright, our education specialist. Ms. Becky Denon, mental health specialist. Thank you. Ms. Jones.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman of the Board, Dr. Thompson, members of the school board, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, we will share how Berkeley Dorchester Head Start program, which Berkeley County School District is the grantee, gives our children a head start in life, empowers parents, and strengthens families. We will begin with an introduction from Dr. Elaine Norton, principal of St. Stephen Elementary School.
Hello. We're excited at SSC. We are now in a marriage with Head Start and the Berkeley County School District. Our boys and girls come to 4-year-old classes so prepared. As a school with 98.5% of our students on free and reduced lunch, it's always a concern that they come to school not ready. But because Berkeley County has joined with Head Start, now our boys and girls are ready. They now know all of the things that we once had to worry about teaching them all year long. Head Start and BCSD are certainly a win-win situation.
Berkeley Dorchester Head Start serves children and families in Berkeley and Dorchester counties, which consist of 3 school districts: Berkeley County, Dorchester 2, and Dorchester 4. Berkeley Dorchester Head Start is a comprehensive federally funded child development program for children ages 3 to 5 and their families that are income eligible. The purpose of Head Start is to promote school readiness and future success for children. We seek to accomplish this mission through collaboration with parents, through family partnership agreements, community resources, and local education agencies. There are 7 Head Start sites in Berkeley County, located at Berkeley Intermediate, Cainhoy Elementary Middle School, Cross Elementary, Fishburne Education Center, J.K. Gurdine Elementary, Westview Primary, and Whitesville Elementary. In Dorchester 2, classes are located at Flowertown Elementary, Knightsville Elementary, and Joseph Pye Elementary. In Dorchester 4, classes are located at Clay Hill Elementary, Harleyville Elementary, and Williams Memorial Elementary. This year, we served 601 students, and next year, we will serve 617 students. Currently, there are 34 classes of 3- and 4-year-olds in our Head Start program and 96 Head Start employees. Next year, we anticipate having 35 classes. These are the main areas of services that our Head Start program, in collaboration with the school district, offer: education, health, mental health, family and community partnerships, disabilities, facilities and licensing, nutrition, recruitment, and transportation. Head Start works in collaboration with the 3 school districts' staff in order to support day-to-day operations. District departments such as finance, human resources, maintenance, school administrators, technology staff, child nutrition staff, transportation staff, school nurses, special education staff, and district administrators all provide essential support services to our Head Start program. We believe it is vital to meet the child's essential needs in order to impact the child's education. This is the goal of comprehensive services, which includes school readiness skills, cognitive development services, ensuring children receive medical screening, healthy nutritional assistance, and referral services. School readiness is viewed as children possessing the skills, knowledge, and attitudes necessary for success in school and later learning in life. Because we recognize that parents are the children's primary teachers, school readiness also means that parents and families are engaged in the lifelong success of their children. A school readiness plan is developed in collaboration with Head Start staff, parents, community partners, and local school representatives. Now, please listen to a video of a Head Start parent explaining the importance of the services provided to his family.
Women start 2 years, 2012, and my daughter Rachel start last week. They both very good in school. They learn something to improve themselves. They learn more social skill, how can organize with the children. They learn more a lot in the school. I think the Head Start is good for the young kid.
As Mr. Lee stated in the video, Head Start is good for children. It is good for them because it increases cognitive skills, self-esteem, improves social behaviors and language development, promotes parent engagement, and provides resources to children and families. Now hear more concerning about the benefits of the Head Start program from Mr. Lee.
I mean, they both like a school. You know, they're very important for the kids. Yeah. And then the Head Start service, they approve more parents program. Then that, you know, when come to enjoy the parents, they're talking about the kid, they discuss anything for the family. Yeah, I think that's very good.
This diagram shows the Head Start Early Childhood Framework, which is used to establish school readiness goals for children, monitor children's progress, align curricular, and guide program planning. The purpose of this framework is to support positive outcomes in early childhood programs. We achieve these school readiness goals through partnership with families and community agencies, the use of a comprehensive evidence-based curriculum, a strong focus on literacy, and professional development opportunities for staff members. How do we determine if our students are accomplishing school readiness goals? We monitor and measure child outcome through daily anecdotal notes based on the domains from the early childhood frameworks, and we use dial-for screening and parent questionnaires concerning social and emotional growth. The classroom assessment scoring system, known as CLASS, is a teacher evaluation tool that measures the quality of engagement between teachers and students. As you all know, young children learn through positive engagement with adults. Head Start is supported by several community partners. Here's a list on this slide that shows how our community partners assist us through their donation of their time and resources. These community partners assist in promoting school readiness through empowering parents and strengthening families. Not only does Head Start provide services to parents, but in keeping with Head Start's regulation of involving parents, we emphasize parent involvement by encouraging them to volunteer and participate on all program committees. Now we will hear from Ms. McKinley, a Head Start parent, who will share about her involvement with Head Start and how Head Start has made a difference in her family.
Hi, my name is Alani McKinley. I have 2 children here at the Berkeley Dorchester Head Start program. I have enjoyed this program. I've actually been participating in this program for about 3 years now. One of my children have actually succeeded and graduated from the program. He is actually in kindergarten now, and this program has had many benefits for him. He has went and he's been prepared for kindergarten. He knows his letters. He knows his numbers. He went in right away knowing everything. He was right on target with the criteria of the school system. It made me proud as a parent. Also, I've been participating in many of the programs offered outside of the Head Start Day. One of the programs consists of the parenting committee, where they support us, they teach us, and they train us on how to be better parents and how to support our children while they're in school. And with that program, it has taught me many things, even from feeding the children, teaching them at home, spending more time with my children, and the importance of family time and interacting with my child. Also, I have had the opportunity in participating in classroom events with my children, such as volunteering in the program, and I've really enjoyed it, and it has also benefited me, not only my child. This is definitely a program that you would definitely want your child to be a part of. I would recommend it to anyone that has questions. I would say yes, do it. It prepares your child ahead of time before they enter into school, and I think that it is a good program. Do it for your child, and not only for your child, do it for yourself.
Ms. McKinley has just shared from her heart the positive difference Head Start has made, not only in her children's lives, but their family's life. Head Start does make a difference. Recruitment is an integral part of Head Start. Please help us spread the word. Recruitment is in full swing for this upcoming program year. There are flyers on the table by the door, and I encourage each and every one of you to please take a flyer, take it home, and share it with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And let's give our children a head start in life.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. We appreciate your comments. Dr. Whitley, you as well. Before I open up to my colleagues for any comments and questions for our Head Start division, let me just say, Ms. Jones, you make quite a compelling case. And my response to you would be, you find the children who need us, and this gentleman will find the place to educate them. Can you do that for us?
Absolutely, sir.
Go find
we appreciate
Go
your
find
support. Thank you so much.
Do we have any questions or comments either for Dr. Whitley or for Mrs. Jones? Not hearing any. Dr. Thompson?
I would just like to thank both of you for the presentation and enlighten us what's going on in the Head Start program. And I would just say to each and every one of you tonight, where we can really impact education is between the age of 3 and 5. If we're going to start holding children accountable at 7, we can't start when those children enter kindergarten, and it has to be a community effort. Schools cannot do it alone. So those that qualify for Head Start, please help us get them in there. And the other students, as a community effort, we've got to measure kindergarten readiness and have our children ready to go when they hit our steps. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you all. Thank you again. We're all feeling really good about Head Start tonight. Job well done. All right, next up on tonight's agenda is agenda item number 8, financial services. Mr. Thomas, tell us about money and the 2014-2015 budget update.
So you want me to take care of your good feelings now?
Well, I have good feelings, yes.
goes the authority.
Am I going to keep them is the question. Go ahead.
First, I want to apologize for the 50-slide PowerPoint that I have.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. There are some slides on there that I pulled from the State Department of Education website that are there just for your information. I'm going to kind of pick a few of those to kind of talk about. This is some updated important dates that the state legislators will be debating the budget. We have the first iteration of the House Ways and Means on the state education website, and I'll show you what that looks like in a few minutes. I wanted to give you some budget activities that we've kind of gone through for the last since January. So we've had budget work just in our office with budget prep. We've had a workshop that we had in February, which wasn't a whole lot of information, but just some start on some challenges and things that we want to look as far as priorities for next year. House Ways and Means information, which I alluded to, budget workshop, and then House and Senate starting debate after they're on furlough. Town hall meetings, we're looking at doing some school presentations, and we've had 3 or so that have already agreed to let me come in late April and mid-May. So we're looking at those. June, we'll be hopefully have the budget information in time to make an informed decision with the public hearing that we'll have on June 24th. So I'll kind of put that in your calendar and your schedule to look at. And of course, we'll have to advertise that 15 days prior to that meeting. So we'll have some estimate of number that we'll be looking at then. And of course, we'll load the budget, whatever it is, on our system. And starting in August, I'll fill in the rest of the months with other stuff. So again, just a reminder of where we're at today with 2 presentations, February, and then one tonight. I had the date wrong for tonight, but it's April 8th. There's some proposed school workshops. So Cane Hill Elementary Middle, April 24th, Bonner, 29th, and Daniel Allen on the 15th of May. And we're looking for about 2 or 3 more to do in different areas of the county. This is the House Ways and Means projection, and this might look good at first glance. When you look at the Education Finance Act, you see about a $6.8 million increase, and you could question why is that possible with only a $19 increase in the base student cost, and we'll explain that in a little bit. You can also look at-risk and high-achieving students, where at-risk is losing $2.3 million, and we'll show you how that's working. And high-achieving students will lose all of their allocation, and that's going to be forwarded into the Education Finance Act. We'll show you how that works. Also, too, you can see no growth in the employer contributions when we've had multiple years of 2-digit increases in employer contribution, and that's been a huge challenge not only for us but other school districts. So if you look at the bottom line, House Ways and Means about $5.4 million, but again, there's some challenges related to particularly at-risk and high-achieving students, and that those were monies 100% funded through EIA, and now they'll be funded through EFA at our percent of state support. So we're not going to get 100% of them, but we'll also have to budget for those in the general fund, which we haven't had to do before. At risk, a lot of that is class size reduction and other functions. Again, base student cost this year is $2101. We should be at $2742. The State Department of Education, when they asked the legislators to look at it, they recommended no growth. House Ways and Means bumped it up to $2120. So that's good. Hopefully the House and the Senate will improve on that as they get updated information from the Board of Economic Advisors. Again, remember this screen. We've talked about potential revenue for next year, increase in Act 388 revenue, which we know is about $900,000 if I remember right. Act 388 millage, which we just got the letter from Budget and Control Board, statewide CPI 1.46% and 2.2 for population in Berkeley County, not student population, but overall population, for a 3.66% or 5.2 mils increase that we would be able to apply. We are going through a reassessment supposedly, but I've been told that the numbers are not ready. But I've also been told that numbers are pretty flat as far as growth from last year to this year. But I'm hearing that we're not really get a whole lot of information until later on, May, June. But we'll have to go through a pretty extensive process with rolling back the mills. If that were to be the case, then we could act on Act 38 to raise it past that. And again, growth to enrollment, and then also increase from the base student cost that the state would have to opine to. Challenges, increase in health insurance, which we do actually have more information this year than we've had at this point in time. And then cost of living due to legislative action, which now they are so far not doing any sort of cost of living. It's most of a step increase. And then sequestration, if not sequestration, reductions in federal programs that would negatively impact the general fund, or programs that those programs are having in those funds, like Title I, IDEA, special education, and the like. This is a cut and paste from one of the provisos related to health insurance, and you can see that the number is 3.9%. Each percent is worth about $200,000. In our first shot at the budget, in our work over in the office, we used 11 or 12%. So there hopefully will be some savings when we're still scrubbing those numbers to come up with an actual number of the budget. This is a slide that you've seen before about Act 388 and really how it's negatively impacting the school district. The state fund is, the property tax relief law is not keeping up with what we're actually due, to the tune of about $2.9 million. And as more homes come on the books, that number will be even worse. And we'll kind of keep an eye on that. I wanted to also, this is an enrollment data sheet. I just changed this slide with the updated 135-day for this year, so you can see about the same similar increase from the last presentation that I showed you there. This is some of the slides related to the State Department of Education's website, and I'm going to go through these kind of quickly. There are some new funds for technology and other things too. I didn't do that. That's State Department did that. I wouldn't know how to do that, I'll put it that way. The governor has a funding plan, which I'll kind of allude to with the new weightings, that sort of stuff. Flexibility is still in, which we've had since the budget days that have caused us some problems, and imputed index with calculation of our percent of state support, summer reading camps, and digital instruction materials, reading coaches. If you remember the House Ways and Means schedule, the high achieving students, which is gifted and talented art, is going away from EIA completely. Some new funding for technology, about $1.1 million, if I remember. Reading coaches. Again, we hope that base student cost will go up. One of the things they're doing actually, and I'm going to show a PDF file that I'll show you with some of the weightings. There's the weightings that have been traditionally used. For example, elementary is a 1.0. High school is a 1.25 for the students that we're serving. So basically, if we serve a student for 135 days in high school, we get 125 times the base student cost times our percent of state support. Vocational education, career and technology was recommended to go to 1.20, but we hear that it's back up to 1.29, which will be helpful to us. And so we're watching those kinds of things. Here are some of the add-on weights. and I'll show you that schedule in a minute. Poverty, .2, limited English proficiency, .2, young adult ed, .2, gifted and talented, .15, which they're saying those monies that we were getting through EIA, this increased index would help us in the general fund to offset those expenditures that we're going to have in the general fund. Same with academic assistance. Go through all this and I'll show you that slide. There are some districts that will be held harmless because when they go through this, they will have lost money, and so that's always a problem when they're trying to change funding education formulas. These are some of the budget priorities that we've discussed in the past. And these are some revenue options that we've discussed in the past. And they're those all together. So if you looked at our budget for 2013-14, that was $215 million. If you were to add 8.5, you get to 224, 225. With the discussion about class size reduction in high achieving students and how that might pan out, we could be looking south of 228, even 229 million, which will be difficult with the current base student cost and with everything else that we're going through. But we'll continue to watch the assessments and the reassessment and Act 388 millage and all that kind of stuff. So, and this is not normal. This is how every budget year kind of goes. So. I'll be worried about it after spring break. This might be kind of hard to see. Anyway, it's not. But down at the bottom, you can see all the weightings on the. They moved the existing weightings on that far left column, and then this is EOC recommendations, and which is basically the governance too as well. So you can kind of see where all that is. And at the bottom, and I'll put this on your website, you can see the different weightings at the bottom and how that articulates into the projected change in state support based on this information. So we're continue to watch this and see how that looks. But you can see that the weightings would go up to, with 31,000 kids, the weightings with the new indexes and weightings about 42,000 based on that base student cost, which again would get us to about $6.8 million in state funds, but then some transferring of some monies that traditionally would be EIA or other funds. So we're still kind of watching it. So with that, I don't know if you have any questions, but I'll make sure you all have this.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Thomas regarding his presentation this evening? Mr. Cooper?
One, where's the state going to find 17-year-old buses in Kentucky with Wi-Fi?
I don't know.
Does that mean we're going to buy new buses now? That would be a change.
That would be a great change. Dr. Etheridge?
Mr. Thomas.
And I don't think they have Wi-Fi in Kentucky, by the way.
Oh, we don't want to go there.
I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm just kidding.
Dr. Etheridge.
Where does middle school fit into the school rankings now? I thought it used to be a 1.0, but you had
elementary classifications would be is a 1.0, and so they would fall into that 1.0. Middle schools do. High schools is 1.25. Then when you get into some of the special education areas like EMH and LD, that's like 1.74, and then upwards of 2.57. So they're changing all that and adding some of these other weightings to hopefully offset that. And you'll see that on that spreadsheet when I put it on this website. But you're exactly right.
Anyone else?
I'd just
Dr.
make
Thompson?
one comment, and you may have picked up on it, but with the even after the backpacking of the line items that were deleted, we show about a 5.4 million increase.
Right.
That, if we give all employees a cost of living increase, that will eat up 4.2 million, plus an additional 700 students. It would require 13 or 14 additional teachers, just and not counting guidance counselors, review specialists, bus drivers, to accommodate for those 7. So you can see the 5 million doesn't go very far. And I didn't even mention the health care increase. That looks like that could be a couple $1 million as well. So it's not as bleak as it has been in some years, but it's still
bleak.
Still not where we would like for it to be.
I'd like to get new bifocals.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Thompson used a term, for those of you who are not familiar with the term backpacking, that's the practice of announcing that we are increasing in one area. One line item is being increased. In reality, the legislature is taking the money from somewhere else. So it's not new money, it's backpacking. It's a transfer. And that is indicative of a problem that has been going on for decades, where the state legislature has continued to incrementally shift the financial burden of K-12 education onto the local tax source, which is property taxes. That problem is further exacerbated when you realize that the cost per pupil in Berkeley County is more than $1,000 less than the average cost per pupil. Folks, we're spending money at the 35th percentile. So if you hear anybody in the grocery store saying we're paying too many taxes for school, too much taxes, they're absolutely incorrect. And they're certainly welcome to call me. I can teach them how that works. But Dr. Thompson, you just can't throw a term like backpacking out there without explaining it. Mr. Thomas, you did let us down. You brought us bad news. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be out.
We're not looking forward to seeing you again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Moving on to agenda item number 9, Human Resources. Tonight, Dr. Levine will bring a number of policies before the board for action. Agenda item 9A will be the first reading of policies and regulations. Agenda item 9B will be the first reading of new policies. Dr. Levine.
Good evening. Thank you, Board Chair Murray, Dr. Thompson, and members of the board. As Dr. Murray indicated, there are several policies that we are bringing to you this evening, and as always, we want to make sure that our policies are up to date and in keeping with the state board and with expectations and in terms of what's going on in the world nowadays. So if you look at the policies that I'm bringing forward this evening, they include policy GBRHA-GBRHA-E, Professional Improvement Leave of Absence in lieu of sabbatical. And for the next one, it should read, and if you all would make sure that it reads this way in your motions as well, IEK-R, homeschooling. Policy II, testing programs, test security. And I have to just indicate on that one for you, that is simply changing the term GED within the policy to high school equivalency tests. So that is the big change that is there within that or those two particular policies.
Dr. Levine, just for
Yes,
clarification, sir. What is the title of policy II?
Policy II, testing programs.
Okay. I heard security. Thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Levine. You
yes,
cleared
sir.
it up for me.
Yes, sir. And then we have next policy DJE, and for that policy related to purchasing, it is being amended to reflect the finance organizational chart and to allow more flexibility per the authorization of purchase orders under $50,000. And the next policy, DA, fiscal management, goals and objective. This policy is being amended to delete the section on fund balance to have a separate policy on fund balance per recommendation from our external auditors. And the next policy is policy GBJ-GBJ-R, the evaluation of administrative staff, And in that particular policy, there have been some changes in terms of how principals are now defined in terms of levels of Tier 1 and Tier 2 principals, and that's in the information we submitted to you. And the last policy is policy JCGD-R, assisting students with meds. And we needed to update that policy to reflect some current changes in how medications are distributed in schools. So at this time, it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading for policy GB-RHA, professional improvement leave of absence in lieu of sabbatical, and also policy GB-RHA-E, professional improvement leave of absence application, and rule, and I'd like to make sure that it says that in the writing that you see there in the motion itself. It should say IEK-R for homeschooling. So for homeschooling, it should read IEK-R.
Duly noted, Dr. Levine.
Thank you. And the next one, policy II, testing programs, policy DJE, purchasing, policy DA-fiscal management goals and objectives, policy GBJ-R, evaluation of administrative staff, and also policy JCG-DR, assisting students with meds.
Thank you, Dr. Levine. Do I have a motion and a second regarding agenda item 9A?
You do, Mr. Chair. I move that we accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading for policy GBRHA, professional improvement leave of absence in lieu of sabbatical, policy GBRHA-E, professional improvement leave of absence application, rule IEK-R, homeschooling, policy 2 or policy II, testing programs, policy DJE, purchasing, policy DA, fiscal management goals and objectives, policy GBJ-GBJ-R, evaluation of administrative staff, and finally policy JCGD-R, assisting students with meds.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Dr. Etheridge. It will be restated for the record here shortly. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Cooper to approve agenda item 9A. Do we have any discussion regarding this motion? Hearing no discussion, we will call the question. A motion has been made by Dr. Etheridge. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Cooper to accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading for policy GBRHA, entitled Professional Improvement Leave of Absence in lieu of sabbatical, policy GBRHA-E, entitled Professional Improvement Leave of Absence application, rule IEK-R, entitled Homeschooling, policy II, entitled Testing Programs, Test Security, policy DJE, entitled Purchasing, policy DA, entitled Fiscal Management Goals and Objectives, policy GBJ/GBJ-R, evaluation of administrative staff, and finally, policy JCGD-R, entitled Assisting Students with Meds. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Dr. Levine, agenda item 9A has been approved.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. We also have an additional item for the first reading of 3 new policies, and those policies are for the fund balance. And in this case, this policy was recommended by our external auditors to be separate and apart from the fiscal management policy to create more focus on the fund balance and to be able to communicate to the public our focus on fiscal responsibility. It will also have a positive impact with the bond rating agencies. And the second policy deals with capitalization. And this policy was also recommended by our external auditors to reflect how we administered fixed assets with the capitalization of items that we purchased that are $5,000 and above. We also added in this policy the language of how we want to administer the capitalization threshold for buildings and building improvements. We are setting this threshold to be $100,000 and above. This is due to the fact that the capitalization of buildings and building improvement items under $100,000 are considered repairs. So those were the reasons for the changes with those two policies. And also the next policy is safe access to vital epinephrine. And for that, we understand that our children in our schools have allergies and we need to get medication to them very quickly sometimes. And this policy addresses how we can go about that in a very safe manner. So at this time, it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading. And these are new policies, so I have to add with that we will get the numbers once the policies are approved. So again, at this time, it is the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading for fund balance policy, which is a new policy, capitalization, also a new policy, and finally, safe access to vital epinephrine, which is also a new policy.
Thank you, Dr. Levine. In the matter of agenda item 9B, entitled First Reading of New Policies, do I have a motion and a second?
You do, Mr. Chair. I move that we accept the recommendation of the administration to approve the first reading for new policy titled Fund Balance, new policy titled Capitalization, and new policy titled Safe Access to Vital Epinephrine.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Dr. Etheridge and seconded by Mr. Wright to approve the recommendation of the administration regarding agenda item 9B, first reading of new policies. Do we have any discussion on this matter? Hearing no discussion, we'll call the question. A motion has been made by Dr. Etheridge. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Wright to approve the administration's recommendation of the first reading of new policies entitled Fund Balance, Capitalization, and Safe Access to Vital Epinephrine. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Dr. Levine, you have received approval of agenda item 9B, first reading of new policies.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 10, entitled Instruction and Accountability. Colleagues, tonight we have an item for action entitled Local Course Approval, Writing Preparation for Advanced Placement Courses. Dr. O'Gorman. While Dr. O'Gorman's getting ready, I'd like to thank Dr. Levine for helping me with the pronunciation of epinephrine. I did not want to forget to thank you for that. Sure as Dr. O'Gorman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Bring before you a local board approval request for a course entitled Writing Preparation for Advanced Placement Courses. Currently, our AP courses have a add-on seminar where teachers are to teach students how to write in preparation for the AP content, the AP exam, things of that nature. We feel that's a little bit redundant. We want to provide more time for students to take additional AP courses. So this course is intended to provide the writing needed for courses as freshmen and sophomores. So it's a prerequisite for taking AP courses later on, providing more opportunities for students to take AP courses during their junior and senior year.
Thank you, Dr. O'Gorman. Dr. O'Gorman has made a recommendation on behalf of the administration to approve agenda item number 10. This is an item for action entitled Local Course Approval, Writing Preparation for Advanced Placement Courses. Do I have a motion and a second regarding this matter?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve item 10, Writing Preparation for Advancement Placement Courses, as recommended by the administration.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Mr. Wright. That motion has been seconded by Dr. Etheridge. And that motion reads as follows: to approve item 10, writing preparation for advanced placement courses, as recommended by the administration in agenda item 10. Do we have any discussion regarding this matter?
I have a question.
Ms. Moore, the floor is yours.
My question is this course going to be offered at all of the schools, the high schools?
Yes, ma'am. All high schools will have the opportunity to offer this course. That's correct. Any high school, yes, offering AP courses. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's my question.
Does that conclude you?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. All right, hearing no other questions, hearing no further discussion, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Dr. Etheridge, to approve agenda item 10, entitled Writing Preparation for Advanced Placement Courses, as recommended by the administration. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Dr. O'Gorman, agenda item number 10 has been approved.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Up next is agenda item 11. This is our Administration and Facilities Division. Tonight, colleagues, we have an item for information entitled School Improvement Bond Projects Update.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, Thompson, members of the board. I'd like to ask Crystal Queen from our Capital Projects Department to come and give you an update on school improvement bond projects.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Murray, Dr. Thompson, and members of the board and guests. As Mr. Franchini said, my name is Crystal Queen, and I work in the Capital Projects Division for our district. I'm here tonight to give you an update on the major school improvement bond projects, along with a few of our minor projects. Since there are many of you that are not familiar with our department, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce another member of our team. Connie Myers could not be here tonight, so I'd like to introduce Gene Sides. He's another one of our project managers. And Bobby Bryant could not be here tonight as well. And then myself. Just to give you a little bit of information about us, as I said, Connie Myers, she's our interim director of operations. She is our team leader and keeps us all in line. Currently, I'm working on Cross High School renovations, Cross Elementary School multi-purpose room, Foster Creek, Tanner Elementary School, H.E. Bonner media renovations, and Marrington Middle School additions and renovations. Jean is working on the new Cainhoy Daniel Allen High and Middle School, Foxbank Elementary School, and Hanahan High School Girls Athletic Room addition. And Bobby, who could not be here tonight, again, he is working on Goose Creek High School additions and renovations, Nexton Elementary School, Stratford High School addition and renovation, and Stratford Stadium lighting replacement. So our team is very excited about the progress that we've gained over the past 4 months. So we'll get started. Since our previous update, we have adjusted the project schedule to reflect the second quarter of 2014. The projects are still listed in order of which they will be completed. Similar to the preceding schedule, the timeline for each project is divided into 4 colors, where the purple indicates the land acquisition, the gold line indicates procurement time to select designers and contractors, the blue line indicates design phase, the red line indicates the bid phase, and the green line, which we are all anxious to see, is the construction phase. At this time, we have 2 projects under construction, 4 projects that are in the design phase, 1 project that will bid next month, and 2 that are in early land acquisition and due diligence phases. This slide is just a reminder of the location for all of the 9 major projects and the ground that we are covering. Our first project is Stratford High School additions and renovations. This project adds about 34,000 square feet of space and includes a 2-story classroom wing with 12 classrooms, 2 career technology education labs, and 1 special ed classroom. This project also expands the cafeteria from seating 419 students to about 670 students for each of the 3 lunch periods. At this time, we have board approval for the GMP. The contractor has started mobilizing, so we're getting ready to start construction. And our pre-construction meeting is scheduled for April 18th, and we are getting ready to procure services for our special inspections. Our next project under construction is Nexton Elementary School. This project is about 105,000 square feet with a capacity to serve 900 students. Our groundbreaking ceremony has been rescheduled for Monday, April 21st. Right now, the contractor has indicated that they are removing fill dirt that's used for surcharging, which in layman's terms means that they are pre-loading the soil for sediment so we can start foundations. The installation of sewer main and storm drain lines are in progress, and we have started foundations for areas E and F. Our next project is Cross High School renovations. This project is a very, very big project. We have renovations to about 16,900 square feet of existing space with 285 students. This is a complicated scope, and it consists of expanding the auditorium into the media center. Then we will relocate the media center to an area that is accessible to the community. We're also going to give a facelift and reconfiguration of the locker rooms to accommodate visitor teams. And this project will be completed while some school is in session. We have already met with OSF to review the project, and we've received comments. The design meeting was held on April 3rd with the steering committee to get input and to finalize our locker room design. Our locker room phase of the project will go out to bid April 30th, and this work will begin this summer. Our next project is Marrington Middle School addition and renovations. This school is scheduled to be completed in January of 2016. The scope includes a new performing arts addition of 16,900 square feet and renovations to about 18,800 square feet of the existing structure, serving 393 students in grades 6 through 8. We have already met with OSF to review this project as well, and we held another design meeting for this project on April 3rd with a steering committee to review those comments and to continue with the interiors. Goose Creek High School is one of our most complicated and aggressive designs. This project will be completed while school is in session. We will be adding a 2-story structure along the front and the right side of the existing campus as shown in the renderings. This will include a 97,000 square foot of new construction, 14,400 square foot of renovations. The bidding is scheduled to begin in May, and our faculty is meeting on May 1st to go over the work that will be completed this summer. We are getting ready to begin permitting, and coming up we're going to request GMP approval at the next school board meeting on May 13th. So this construction is scheduled to begin in June of this summer. We have a combination elementary and middle school in Cainhoy Plantation. We have been working with 2 community committees for recommendations on this project. This school is recommended to be a STEAM school with grades K through 8 being served. This will be a 172,000 square foot school with a capacity of 1,400 students. We have met with OSF and SEDOT for a site review on March 10th. Due diligence for the property has been completed. We are currently undergoing wetland permitting, which is due by June. And our land agreement is also scheduled to be completed by July 25th. And there are several of our architects and engineers that are gritting their teeth right now and waiting on the selection for this school tonight. Cainhoy High School. This is one of our largest projects. It's scheduled to be completed in August of 2017. This will be a 214,000 square foot school with a capacity of 1,400 to 1,600 students. We also met with OSF and visited the site for this property. The land was acquired on March 28th, and we have the schematic design in process. The steering committee is going to meet again on April 14th, and the wetlands permitting submittal is scheduled for May. Okay. Foxbank Elementary School. This school is scheduled to be completed in August of 2018. This is one of our last new schools to be in the program. This is a 99,000 square foot school with a capacity of 900 students. Currently, we are orchestrating a kickoff meeting with the town of Moncks Corner and the fire department for April. We are reviewing existing due diligence information provided to us by the developer. We are also obtaining proposals for any other due diligence required. And the final negotiating for the land contract with the developer is in process. So I've just thrown a lot of information at you, and you've seen a similar slide tonight, but I wanted to just give you a 12-month projection, just kind of break this down a little bit. Currently, Nexton surcharging is complete, and the high school programming and design is in progress. Next month, Goose Creek High School GMP is going to be requested. The new middle school and Foxbank kickoff meetings will be held. In June, Cross High School and Goose Creek will begin construction. In July, the majority of our minor projects will be in full force, and we have a lot of summer work that will be starting. In August, the second phase of Cross High School construction will begin. In September, Marrington Middle School will begin bidding. October, the construction will begin. In November, the Daniel Allen Cainhoy design development will be reviewed. In December, Foxbank Elementary School site work will begin bidding. Then of January for next year, Nexton will be dried in and complete. That'll be a great milestone for us. Cainhoy High School will be bidding. And then March of next year, Stratford High School will be complete. So I'd like to take a little bit of time to talk about some of our minor renovation projects. We didn't get to touch on that at our last update. Currently, we have over 25 projects that we are pursuing. The work is being completed as time permits, and we have already completed 3 fire alarm replacement projects and 6 flooring replacement projects. There are 2 projects that are at least 80% complete in design. We are procuring materials to start construction for 2 projects. We have 1 minor renovation project in bidding, and then we have 12 others that are pending designs. So our first project that I want to touch on is H.E. Bonner Library renovations. We had quite the challenge on this project. This library needed some more student focus for curiosity and independent learning while we offer a flexible space for the staff. The principal was very concerned about being able to use this as a flex space. So we wanted to provide them also with new media furniture and shelving. Our construction is scheduled to begin on June 2nd, and we have a completion date of August 8th. Our next minor renovation project is Cross Elementary School Multipurpose Room. We are renovating about 3,500 square feet. Our goal here was to create a more inviting space for students and community use. We have some unsightly surface-mounted conduits and some electrical panels that we're trying to hide. So we're going to dress that up, and we want to provide a school logo and a welcoming signature on the walls for the community. We're also providing some acoustical treatments for noise reduction in this space, and construction will also be this summer in 2014 with a completion of August this summer. Our next minor renovation is Hanahan High School Girls Athletic Room Addition. This new addition is about 1,300 square feet. We are meeting this month with Hanahan Booster Club to go over the new addition. Drawings have already been submitted to OSF for review and comments have been received. Bidding will occur in April of 2018, and the contractor selection will be May 23rd this year. Construction is scheduled to begin this summer, June 1st, and completed by August 8th. One of our last projects is the district-wide storefront security upgrades. We have 18 schools that are receiving upgrades to access control. The first 8 storefronts bids have been received, and construction is scheduled to start at the end of this month. Phase 2, which includes the next 5 storefronts, will tentatively be bid on April 18th, with bids due on May 21st. And then the final phase, with the last 5 storefronts, will be advertised on May 2nd, with bids due on June 4th. And that concludes. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Queen. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Queen? Nope. All right. Hearing no questions, just a quick comment. I want to thank you, Ms. Queen. I want to thank Mr. Sides, who's sitting in the back. I know Ms. Myers and Mr. Bryant are not here this evening, but I had an opportunity to work with y'all on Monday and Thursday, and we are impressed with the amount of work that you have going on. You're very efficient, very knowledgeable, and we feel fortunate to have you. Now, if we're hearing no questions, I think we still have 2 items for action from this division. So thank you, Ms. Queen.
Thank you.
This evening I will explain the process used for the selection of the architect and the contractor for the Clements Ferry Road Elementary and Middle School project. At the end of the explanation, I'll present to you the committee's recommendation. The selection committee consisted of board members Mr. Frank Wright, Mr. Doug Cooper, Dr. Sheldon Etheridge, and Dr. Kent Murray. Also participating on the committee were Mr. Deion Jackson, principal of Cane Bay Middle School, Ms. Marty French, principal of Daniel Island School, Dr. Kim McLaren, director of secondary schools, Ms. Connie Myers and Mr. Gene Sides from the Capital Projects Department, Mr. James Thomas from Facilities, and myself. In addition, we had technical assistance from Ms. Ashley Cash and Ms. Marcy Abrahamson from the Finance and Procurement Department. We were extremely fortunate to have 11 excellent architectural firms and 7 contractors submit proposals. At the beginning of the process, it made it a very difficult decision or selection because they were such good quality companies. The committee was committed to work toward deciding which firm would be the best fit for each project. The selection committee reviewed the many proposals and narrowed the list down to 4 architectural firms and 3 contractors for the new schools. Interviews of the shortlisted firms were conducted, and each firm was ranked individually by each committee member. From the overall rankings, the top architectural firm was then selected for the new project, and the top contractor was also selected. To summarize the qualifications of the firms, let me provide you with the characteristics of those that we are recommending to you tonight. Each firm demonstrated that they had successfully completed a similar project in South Carolina coastal region in the last 6 years. Each firm provided information that their team, including consultants, had successfully worked together on a recent project. And each firm showed a good understanding of the special nuances of the project and a good understanding of the BCSD design and construction guidelines. On behalf of the selection committee, I recommend to you the following for approval. The architectural firm of LS3P Associates for the new Clements Ferry Road Area Elementary Middle School.
take that one first, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Franchini?
Please.
All right. Now let's deal with agenda item 11A. You've heard the recommendation from the administration. Do I have a motion and a second in the matter of the selection of architect for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the recommendation by the committee to select LS3P as the architectural firm for the new Clements Ferry Road Elementary and Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Second from Mr. Cooper. Mr. Wright has made a motion to accept the recommendation of the committee to select LS3P as the architectural firm for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school. That motion was seconded by Mr. Cooper. Do we have any discussion on the matter?
I have a question.
Ms. Moore?
My question is that school going to be built before Ken Hoy High School?
It will not be built before. They actually started the high school first, but it will be finished before the high school is finished, if it stays on schedule.
They'll be built at the same time.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, the high school is going to take a year longer to build. We've already started, the design in the high school was approved a couple months ago, so they've already started designing, and we acquired the land. So we're ahead of schedule. We're ahead of the middle school now at the high school, but because the high school takes a year longer, the middle elementary school will open a year earlier if they both stay on schedule.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Moore. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Again, a motion was made by Mr. Wright, seconded by Mr. Cooper, to accept the recommendation of the committee to select LS3P as the architectural firm for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary middle school. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously, Mr. Franchini. The agenda item 11A has been approved. Next action.
That's all right. I have trouble with my own name sometimes.
It's been a long night. I apologize.
I've been called worse.
Me too.
The committee also recommends the construction firm of Contract Construction as the contractor for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary middle school.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion and a second for the administration's recommendation of agenda item 11B, selection of contractor for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school?
You do, Mr. Chair. I move that we accept the recommendation of the committee to select Contract Construction as the contractor for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Thank you, Mr. Wright. A motion has been made to accept the recommendation of the committee to select Contract Construction as the contractor for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school. Do we have any discussion on the matter? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion as stated to accept the recommendation of the committee to select Contract Construction as the contractor for the new Clements Ferry Road area elementary and middle school, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously. Mr. Franchini, both agenda items 11A and 11B have been approved. And thank you for your work on this very important issue. Now, moving on to agenda item 12, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and our guest in the audience tonight. I would first like to thank our Board of Education. We've had a very long agenda tonight, starting at 6:30, but our board members actually started at 5 with an hour and 15-minute Head Start training, and they rushed over here to start this meeting. So it's been a long day for them at work, or some of them that at work, some of them are retired, and I'm sure to be this long and committing this much of your time, we're grateful for what you do in support of our children. A couple of announcements I would like to. The Education Oversight Committee recognizes individual schools with Palmetto Gold or Silver awards in the area of overall student achievement or closing the achievement gap. Just today that we learned that we had 21 schools in Berkeley County qualify in one or both of those areas. And at this time, I'd like just to read the names of those schools, and we can formally recognize them at a later date. We had Cane Hoy Elementary Middle, Cane Bay High, Cane Bay Middle, Cross Elementary, Cross High, both Daniel Island Elementary and Middle, Goose Creek High, Hanahan Elementary, Hanahan High, Hanahan Middle, Hal Hall Ames, J.K. Gradine, Macedonia Middle, Marrington Elementary, Marrington Middle, Sangaree Intermediate, St. Stephen Elementary, Stratford High, Timberland High, and Westview Middle. So congratulations to these schools for their receiving the Palmetto Gold or Silver Awards. Well done. And I do have an item for action tonight. In regards to the Sangaree area, Royal Road, Sangaree Parkway, the traffic congestion that we have in that area that we learned about, you were informed about at our last board meeting. Tonight I move that the board issue the following proclamation concerning pedestrian safety and traffic congestion and improving the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway, April 8, 2014. Whereas the Berkeley County School District has been working with the South Carolina Department of Transportation to improve safety and traffic flow at Sangaree Middle, and whereas the Berkeley County School District and the South Carolina Department of Transportation have implemented safety and traffic flow measures as recommended by the Department of Transportation School Site Study, and additional safety improvements are currently underway. And whereas the primary and major remaining traffic and pedestrian safety concerns at Sangaree schools arise from congestion at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway. Whereas the Berkeley County School District encourages the South Carolina Department of Transportation to identify and prioritize funds for the intersection's improvements at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway. And accordingly, the Berkeley County School District encourages Berkeley County, the Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Council of Governments, or other funding agency to gain financial support for addressing the safety concerns arising from the congestion at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway. Now, therefore, we hereby proclaim our appreciation to the South Carolina Department of Transportation and local agencies for their assistance and efforts to improve pedestrian and traffic safety in the area of Sangaree schools, and we respectfully urge the South Carolina Department of Transportation, Berkeley County, Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester Council of Governments to assist the residents in the Sangaree area in completing the recommended safety improvements at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Up next, we have an action item that was just read to us. This is the Sangaree School Traffic Proclamation. And just a reminder to my colleagues, this was one of the citizens' comments at our last meeting asking for us to lend our hand or lend our support in helping this community gain a stoplight at this very dangerous intersection. So with that said, I would like to move that we approve the Berkeley County School District proclamation concerning traffic congestion at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. A motion was made by the chairman. That motion has been seconded by Mr. Cooper to approve the Berkeley County School District proclamation concerning traffic congestion at the intersection of Royal Road and Sangaree Parkway. Do we have any discussion regarding this matter? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries unanimously, and we certainly hope this will assist both the Sangaree community as well as all of our leaders, such as Representative Joe Danning, who are assisting with this very important and necessary change. With that said, we will now move on to agenda item number 13, entitled Executive Session. Tonight's executive session is for the purposes of attendance appeals, expulsion appeals, personnel considerations for both non-renewal and renewal recommendations for certified employees, also for contractual matters, specifically the Stratford High School lighting project, and finally, any legal advice or discussion. Do I have a motion to move into executive session? Thank you. Is that Ms. Moore? And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Etheridge. All those in favor of moving into executive session, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. The motion carries unanimously. We stand in executive session.